50 rather than the fact we've seen 90 and 10 and stuff like that. So many of it, we'll see it in now. And I mean, it's closer than the majority of things. We've got 35% siding with us and 65 with SKC. But at the end of the day, this is probably one of the closest ones we've had, which goes to show something.
Yeah, I was literally about to say the same. I believe it's probably the closest poll we've had all over the weekend, really, so far. So this is quite a pleasant surprise, in all honesty. Let's see what the first bans are for open zone, and coming in thick and fast with the Crow for SK Danilos, banning out the B, the Lola, and the Poco on the side of Juan Danilos. It's the Poco, the Pam, as well as the Meg. I think the Meg there being quite a key ban. But that Crow pick we've already seen today is such a common one in this particular region. Max is going to be coming in as well to add to that on the side of Juan Danilos. Surely a Janet as well, as it's such a common pick in this region and not one that's banned out in this particular instance. But the Max is definitely going to play a very, very good part of this starting lineup. For me, the way things are shaping up to be, I think that, yeah, exactly that. Yeah, I feel like that is the way to go for this one. SK Danilos can go in for something more aggressive, but definitely with the lack of heals, it's a consideration there. I wouldn't be opposed to Colette in this instance, simply because the Poker's out, the Pam's out, and that is already something to consider. Let's see what they go for, Trav.
Yeah, I mean, obviously against the Crow, you're kind of reaching for that Pam usually, but with it being banned out, it's not obviously going to be an option for Juan Danilos here. SKC, they're going to go with the Stu, a little bit more mobility, don't really want to leave it all to that Max, want some for themselves. But I think over on the side of Juan Danilos, they've just got that really, really solid comp. I do like the Amber though, and I know you've kind of in the past liked Amber here. So we'll see if they're able to bring out some more oomph with that, but usually when it's paired with the Max, it becomes that a little bit better, and obviously they didn't really have that opportunity.
Yeah, it worked out really well, didn't it, last month with Reply Totem in the EMEA region on this particular map, and it was already working last year, primarily played by a lot of big teams in the EMEA region, like Tribe Gaming EU were one that would really harness themselves in that top right-hand side lane and just burn up the bush, and a lot of players can forget, and especially with 8-bit, it's a bit of an interesting idea to go into an Amber, simply because you need that plugged-in star power to really have the mobility. Yes, you've got the range, but if you're able to juke your way forwards, then it can be a troublesome thing. It's not really, to be honest, the sort of brawler that I would bring in to hot zone at all. Primarily, if you're under pressure and stuck in the thick of it, you want to get back into the zone as quickly as possible, get yourself back in the game. It could be that they are considering to bring in then something of the TP to sort of have a bit of an advantage in that respect, but it's a bit of a risky one. It's not really something that I would bring in this particular map. I mean, yes, Chi Cartridge can provide that kind of quick early value, but if you're not able to cycle your supers effectively, then you're going to be a bit of a sitting duck.
Yeah, I mean, I think 8-bit over that right-hand side, he's going to have to keep his range, he's going to have to connect some big shots, and he needs that grass up as well to be able to fly under the radar like he has just done. Regardless of these 2 kills, Prosy still remains, and they do have that 22% buffer off the start, but it's quickly getting kind of taken out, and that fire being also burned down very, very quickly. JXCR now placing this turret defensively, and Exic and Prosy trying to push forward onto Christian up top with that slow, but didn't manage to take him down, brought him low, and now burned down on that turret as well. Shouldn't bring it all the way. And maybe a little bit of a waste in that sense.
Yeah, I want to see Alchi trying to burn the bush a bit more, because ultimately, JXCR is utilizing the speed gear there, and if he takes away that, then it's only the plugged-in star power that's going to be keeping that 8-bit from being viable. Poison tick over time. Christian should, I believe, survive just about. Yeah, 162 HP, and now Toxic healing up on that left-hand side as well. Big jumping from Proxy, but I mean, actually will get the takedown with the help of Exit there. But I was a bit concerned that he might have actually potentially wasted the super for the sake of just getting back into the map a bit too fast for his own good, but it does mean that in the meanwhile, SK Danilos are bringing back a bit of a lead here. Toxic will take to the sky and actually burn down in the process, but at least Christian and JXCR the hold firm in the mid.
Yeah, Alchi there trying to pinch in now, and Christian gonna get the kill, and I'm surprised Bruzzy didn't jump. He had a lot of opportunity to do just that, and JXCR now surviving on Exit, coming quite aggressive, but he's going to be punished for that surely. Actually survives a little bit longer than he deserved to, but Toxic now gets the kill, and regardless of kind of it seeming like Juan Danilos have had everything all the time, it's actually SKC who are still just that little bit more ahead.
It's balancing things really nicely. Great starting Toxin there from Prosy just to try to ensure the takedown. It meant that Christian was out of the play on the left-hand side for quite a while too. Nice dashes around the situation. 3 HP goes down eventually. Toxic, though, doing his best. There's only 11% needed now for SK Danilos, and now this could be a crucial turning point. Why do they need to hold firm? They're bringing back this deficit. 15% is all they need now, and they've got all 3 bodies in the mid.
Yeah, it's even out now, and they need to push on, but JXCR, he's got a turret, he's going to be able to tank so much, he's got a vast amount of HP too. Don't want to feed these jumps, but they've just gone all down. They've all fallen, the splash from Prozzy's jump.
The game, when you've got 3 members of your team holding firm there, I mean, it's pretty much always going to go your way. I know I'd love to watch it back to really analyze as to where that went wrong there, yeah, but what an incredible turnaround, honestly, for SK Kalelis. I mean, wow, really great stuff. But I'm just not too sure whether it was the play or whether it was Juan Danilos just kind of dropping the ball, maybe getting a bit overconfident with themselves. I need to see Alchi just kind of burning this right-hand side earlier. He's focusing so much on getting down the 8-bit, super, which is very important. The damage booster has to go down. It's providing the additional speed, but that speed gear is keeping him viable and moving. In the meanwhile, he's not really focusing on doing that at the moment.
Yeah, well, SKC now getting some serious percentage, and we haven't even seen Juan Danilos touch the point yet. Alchi getting pushed back now. The JXCR's got this super and some pressure coming in from Toxic. Places to drop the base, really not in the best of positions, but Alchi should fall, and he's actually missed the shot. It seems like they're wasting so many opportunities, and still 0% is what we see from Juan Danilos.
Oh, very important takedown there, though, from Exic there. It's going to allow his teammates to come back into the thick of it. 80% to just a 1%. I mean, it's just a night and day difference from the previous game, and SK Kalelis is just going to shortly run away with this now. There's so much time to make up for. I mean, if they do this on the side of Juan Danilos, it would be one of the biggest comebacks ever in the history of Hot Zone.
Yeah, but I mean, we've got this crow jump. That's going to be a big explosive jump onto that zone. Alchi's trying to push forwards now onto JXCR and might even do it himself. No help for JXCR here. All focusing so heavily on keeping this control. They've all fallen. The dash is forward. The shot's through, and that's surely going to be tying it up. JXCR can't bring them both down, and SK Kalelis just managed to close this one out. Nice stuff from them. Good first set, but in my eyes, I feel like Juan Danilos had some serious amount of control.
Making sure to not feed into it, denying the plugged-in star power on that speed side and the bush. I think it would have been a bit more of a sitting duck, but nonetheless, mistakes made and some to learn from going forwards into safe zone for Heist, and definitely going to be some valuable momentum now for SK Kalelis to be able to take back another set here, but it really is the time for Juan Danilos to knuckle down a little bit, make sure this draft really does show its worth here. Bans out already for Juan Danilos. The max first pick coming in for SK Kalelis, the Penny. E-band, max band, as well as the Sprout and the Grom. Max double band actually here as well. And next draft coming in for Juan Danilos. Still some range options. Colette band out though, which is quite an interesting one. Would have been a definite go-to for me here. But ultimately long range still exists. The size of the bell, the Brock though coming in as well, which I think is a really good solid first early draft here. Throwers are still viable here, but I think the Sprout is pretty up there as being one of the top ones. Grom as well, so probably going to be much more of a kind of longer range affair, but maybe some tankier ideas as well to come out to play. They want to go with that Daryl pick, which I still love here. It's probably going to be more on the side here of Juan Danilos, because there's ultimately the spike that could be a problematic thing to have. Or the surge on defense, even if it does manage to show its face, be going to come in as well. I like the way this draft is actually shaping up to be here for Juan Danilos.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the B earlier, we saw the Brock earlier, both of them doing some serious work in the other portion of the sub-region. But I mean, I like the throwers being banned. I think that's a big point to make. And with Grom being as dominant as it was for Tufa for Clash, it really is something that I'm quite glad to see banned out. And the same with Sprout, the ability to just lock up the map and stop people from pushing up is just disgusting on this map, especially with the unbreakable wall. It also defeats one of those choke points that you can kind of walk through. Bell going to be the next pickup from SK Kalelis, and I kind of like it. I think it's going to be the worst out of the three of the long-range brawlers in terms of Brock, B, and Bell, but still, if it can get some bounces, it can get some good value.
Yeah, I do love it. I do love it. The Penny as well. In those later stages, if they're able to secure the turret in place, could be a big thing for them. They do need to consider the prospect that Juan Danilos could go in with something tanky. Carl going to come in, the flying hook, of course, but that's why I just feel like Daryl could be just the exact response on the other side of the field. We've seen Buzz in other regions. I don't really feel like Buzz is going to necessarily be what they're going to be going for here, but it does provide that same kind of idea, that same utility, getting onto the save as quickly as possible and just drawing everything back. Okay. maybe I'll just talk about that before it comes up so I can say that I was thinking it all the time. And they're going to go for it. Don't get me wrong, it's a great idea to have. I personally would prefer the Daryl. They didn't really have a good hard tank counter on the side of SK Kalelis. I mean, they got the Penny with the Salty Barrel, but I think Daryl would have been better. Buzz is a bit more high risk. this might not go according to plan, or it could seriously pay off here for Juan Danilos if they get it right.
See, I kind of like what Juan Danilos have got here, I won't lie. I mean, if the Buzz can hit some good stuns onto Carl, onto some of these brawlers, obviously you don't really want to be going towards a Penny with that salty barrel in front. You're going to get hit pretty hard if you're using a gadget, but if you can use that super and get a stun, then it's really going to be quite worthwhile. Exic quickly flying, hooking over to his right-hand side, and he's actually going to be against the Brock, and he gets quickly deleted, but some pretty similar stuff going on the other side as well.
It hits in coming in for Toxic. And Incinerate will start to take its toll there onto the safe. Ouchie there very low as well, and all those rocket laces from Toxic to stay alive just a little bit longer, but it will lose positioning power for it. Allow Exic to come forwards. Oh, just 3%. All of the penny turret gonna land. Not quite. He's still alive going there on the safe. 77% continuing to go down as now Prosy takes care of him on the bottom of the screen there. Not sure I agree with the super this slow, but it does get the job done there on the side of Christian. And allow him to get back into the mix. This bell's just going to ricochet there between Christian and Toxic. As now feels like Juan Danilos is starting to, get a bit more control over the situation. And now a great stun there from JXC on the left-hand side. A bit more attempts now onto the safe from Toxic.
Yeah, stun doesn't actually pick it up though. Exic managed to survive that one out just a little bit longer, and it is a close affair. About 7% in it at the moment. JXCR got another super in hand. Christian 2, Honeyco activated. Gonna gadget up onto Exic there, but he's gonna get spun on quite quickly, and he is gonna be taken down. Great stuff from Toxic though, constantly raining down with this Brock, and that's the big damage dealer. If they can't get the Buzz up there, he just has to open up the space for the Brock.
Great takedown there from Exic. Oh, JXCR comes in again. Shots are missing. He gets the double stun, but not more than that. And there was a little bit overzealous to go for it, but I do appreciate the attempt. The mark will see to the demise of Christian as Exic's not done yet on the right-hand side, continuing to spin, and now the shots continue to land as JXCR to be trickling down HP as well as these battle shots ricochet between the safe and himself. Took as well, not really helping out in that situation. Everyone on the side of low. Look at this. SKC just absolutely going for the jugular, and the safe is being absolutely demolished. The Juan Danilos are bang in trouble here, Trav.
Another more as well, and this has got to be done. Prosy's going to finish it. Absolute
master here, Trevor. Are you starting to regret? Because I know that I am. The way that SKC are doing what they're doing, it shows much more confidence. They are much more competent, in my opinion, also. And to keep playing like this could be a done and dusted, honestly. Juan Danilos got to dig a little bit deeper here, and maybe it was simply that their opposition last month was something of a bit more of an easier affair. Regardless, SKC are really giving them a good run for their money. Christian trying to push forwards here. Got the honeycomb to hand, and nice awareness of range to stay away from Prosy. Exic has got super as well, and the flying hook could then bring him over the lake pretty quickly. Toxic's got to be careful. Rocket Laces will be able to evade it, but nonetheless, big stun on the left. JXCR going in now, and a double stun to Algie as well. And now, Juan Danilos start to get some damage of their own.
Exic gets the pick up though, but he was slow. Not really going to be able to avoid too much, and some good damage dealt now for Juan Danilos, but quickly their control dwindles, and Ouchie now just pushing up, placing some nest eggs in mid as well. Gonna try to get those bounces onto Toxic and Christian going. JXCR down the right hand side though, making his move over there as he can't really do too much when the mortar's established, and he has to just keep on moving around. Penny can pinch him down quite quickly, and we're seeing the same again. Bursts from Juan Danilos, but good control from SKC.
Big taps there from Ouchie, but JXCR is lurking on the right hand side, and it all turns so quickly. Nice takedown though. Oh, flying hook stun from Exic. Actually, it's going to be enough to take away from some of the stun itself. And he's able to now start to get some shots in the safe. His teammates behind him. My word, what a play. It just evaded so much of the potential control that JXCR had over the situation. 32% damage though is quite a big ask. And now Juan Danilos have got to respond to this with 49 seconds on the clock. Got to stop to hold firm on this mid. Christian helping out there. Now right hand side Toxic, and it's a big taps into Prosy, who's stunned out. I'm loving what I'm seeing, but it is going to have to be a big push here. Juan Danilos has got to remain in control, and Toxic going down there, it's not helping things.
Definitely not. He gets another stun off, and this time manages to take someone with him, but they just quickly clean up, and Christian is getting hit so hard. The bounces as well. Toxic just makes his own teammate die. Exic's got spin here as well. Can't use it in time as the stun does hit. Another one as well from JXCR. He's making huge moves, but there's just no one with him. Can he get the damage on his own? The spin from Exic straight out of spawn. There's a Brock coming up as well. He looks like he might be able to get it, but the super coming in from Prosy knocks him back. Not going to get the damage just yet. And SKC are going to add some more on the other side as well. That is 2 sets to them, and Juan Danilos all can defeat it.
It's the same story. I mean, it's such a good brawler to have in your draft, and sometimes you can't even land it because it's banned out instantly. And It provides so much value on the safe and great for takedowns, but it's not able to make it work. But moving on then, Super Beach next for Brawl. And again, the moment, the way that things are going, we need to see a big draft here from Juan Danilos. It's got to be one that's going to be a winning set as well for them, or they'll be going home in just the semi-final stages and not reaching the grand finals like they did back in February. Bans are in, Max, Ems, and Stu on the side of SK Kalelis, and an early draft from Juan Danilos of B. Their bans were Penny, Ash, and Spike, and that's kind of interesting to me to ban both the Ash and the Spike. Could be potentially considering another tankier option themselves. So they are picking B very, very early, and Otis coming in now on the side of SK Kalelis for that reason that they might be expecting a tank to come in one of these picks.
Well, we better hope that Juan Danilos players be a little bit better than they did in the previous, so as it could come back to bite them once more. SKC, on the other hand, pick two beautiful brawls on a map like this. You know, you're always going to get value out of the fat splatter, the drop the base, the mute and stuff like that as well. It really, really is incredibly strong, versatile brawlers. See the Nita coming in for Juan Danilos, and I do quite like that. Nita's always a solid pick for me. You get the bear down and you can make big plays behind it. Especially with that Penny banned out, you don't have as much splash. So definitely a bit of a better pick from them. But so far, I just feel like we got a little bit more versatility from SKC. Obviously, they have this last pick as well, so they can try and counter out all three brawlers of Juan Danilos, but we quite often see it just being kind of targeted towards two of them.
He is muted, but if I listen really loud, I can hear Teddy groaning at his monitor right now because he hates Nita and Brawl. Really would not want to see it at all. I really rate it. I think it's quite a good shout, and they're picking that B pick alongside it too, so definitely going to be some difficulty taking care of Bruce when it comes onto the field. But ultimately, again, the way that SK Kalelis are playing, they are showing competence and confidence at the same time, and that Otis is definitely going to help out shred through those things quite easily here. But third draft coming in just a moment. JXCR will probably get a confirmation on what that was. There's a little bit of a UI there issue to come in for the third and final pick here, shortly for SK Kalelis, and how they want to respond with the way that things are shaping up to be. The Surge wouldn't be a bad one for me, in all honesty. It really does suit this kind of map, and it's that aggressiveness that you need to really have. The knockback can play a vital role as well in just ensuring that you can stop the ball from going in the goal on a majority of occasions. Carl was the pick on the side of Juan Danilos, so it would actually be a really solid counter to that as well. Let's see what it is that they're going to be going for in just a minute, and if not, we'll get some confirmation shortly.
Yeah, I kind of do like the Surge, but also it's tough against the Nita. They have chosen to go with it, so need to make sure that they're not feeding these bears and getting pushed back because of it. Prosy over this right-hand side now just trying to take JXCR. Does find a couple of connecting shots and makes it a little bit difficult for him. Drop the base will reset the healing, so great placement from him there, but he has provided that super, and it's dangerous.
I love this from SK Kalelis. Blank again from JXCR does secure the takedown onto Prosy. Ouchie though is still an issue. He's got damage gear rolling in as well as the HP is very low, allowing Christian to start to push forward from above. Great slow, great takedown. Prosy coming back in now, and the Honeyman Assassin will slow Prosy at the moment. Juan Danilos are playing fantastically well. It is still early days, however, and they have lost some control. Prosy now coming back into the mix. Just start to push the ball forwards. The Bruce Bear coming in now. Swiftly taken care of by Ouchie, and chance now to reset.
Yeah, Exit comes to level 2. Did get to level 3, but was taken down by the bear. Need to kill from beyond the grave, thanks to Bruce. But all three of them over the right-hand side here. This is not the best position, I wouldn't say. Great opportunity for a pinch, but instant level 3 provided. Always moving out as well. That's going to be a pass straight up and a goal. Difficult stuff there for Toxic. Couldn't release the ball, and SKC are going to punish them for it.
Great mute. Fantastic stuff there from Ouchie. And an early swift goal, and I was surprised to see it, honestly, because it just felt like the momentum shift was there, and it could well be one of those games that Juan Danilos taken. They could still do just that. The beat's not going to matter, surely. Oh, the ball stopped on the middle of the line. They should be able to get it back, though, surely here, but Exik is doing all he can to try to defend it, and he can't. It's a goal. We're all tied up here, and we're going to be going then all the way.
He did almost defend it, though. He got the kill on Grissium, but just slid that ball in before he went down. Honeycoat and available now, and the Nita Bear thrown forwards. X6 one shot as well, and this could be a big turnaround. Slow comes in, hits both of them. That's huge for Juan Danilos. They get the kills and they get the goal. One
Understated, underestimated in this instance. It just goes to show there just how much easier it is to make a big push, a big game-winning push like that. and they just had nothing to defend it with. Realistically, that great early takedown there. Christian doing fantastic work in the flying hook. Leaves Prosy on 2 HP. It's going to be a guaranteed goal, surely, and it is. Juan Danilos with an amazing response in just 14 seconds.
I mean, it kind of is disappointing from SKC here. It seems like it's them kind of stepping out of line rather than anything else. Prosy making a good push now, though. JXCR is going to go down. Can they get the kills? They'll need to bear for a bit of help as well. They're not going to place it just yet. Fat Splatter to reset that healing. Gets a little poke extra range, but Prosy going to walk directly into that 3K, and that is not a good position. Flight available, doesn't even use it. Definitely not the best plays coming out of Prosy so far here.
JXCR playing such an aggressive game. Great flying hook. Will he find the angle? No, Prosy off the line. Fantastic work there from SKC, but they are not out of the woods just yet. As JXCR is not done. The pass to Christian, and now it is done. Beautiful work.
So a bit of a better performance coming out of Juan Danilos now as we go into Bell's Rock, seeing some knockout. And this is where the stress hits. This is where you don't want to be down. You said this earlier, and I thought you made a great point about it. You know, with one life, if you're kind of stressed and behind, you're not going to play your best.
It adds to the equation, doesn't it? And it's already a very, very complicated algebra star one to have to work out in the first place. Bell's Rock, knockout. Thrower's probably going to be banned out here for sure, as both teams don't actually necessarily go for the majority of them. So that's going to leave some on the table. Juan Danilos going to be taking in the Gene, but the Grom and the Tick are banned. And they are the big ones. But Sprout could be a late pick here. The walls being indestructible on those corner tiles could make a big difference. Janet being banned, it's kind of interesting to me. I don't know whether it's the strongest of brawlers to actually really ban out here, but this region really does like to play it absolutely everywhere. So it makes sense for the regional side of things. But the Grom being banned, the Brock as well, such big brawlers to eradicate. Already coming in now, SK Kalalis, and follow-up to come. But so far, the Gene can definitely turn the tides. We saw Gray coming out earlier, and it worked out really, really well for Bando de Lucas, but I don't think necessarily, again, is my go-to, but we saw Pazzinia making it work. Piper now to add to the equation for SK Kalalis, and that's a consideration. Juan Danilos needs some range to add to this mix, because that Piper is going to be working really strongly against them in that regard.
Yeah, Nani's still on the board as well. Definitely a pick that you want against something like that Piper, and a Gene along with it as well to get that poke damage, keep them low. I think it's be quite a combination between those two, but they also do need something to deal with this Bonnie as well. If it starts to go aggressive, it can be a bit of an issue for pretty much anyone who hasn't got that kind of short-range burst damage. It should be coming in from Juan Danilos in a second, but not just yet. As far as I'm concerned, as you say, they might need that long-range brawler to be able to get anything done at all in this one. Could be taking a quite quicker loss. We saw a bit of Gray earlier, but we weren't too sure about it. But it did prove us right.
Let's be for Juan Danilos, and that was one that I was considering. But let's see what their follow-up ideas are. Ultimately, if they do buy their time, then Piper's gonna be okay. Sprout, okay, that makes some sense. Does open themselves up to a lot of countering. Carl could be a big one that comes in. It's going to be great. You see, I'm still against it, just simply because more often than not, it shouldn't necessarily get the value that it has now that it has been nerfed in such a dramatic way. But I'm becoming more open to it. In the same way that I've been becoming a bit more open to Bonnie, which has been a pick time and time again across a lot of the regions, primarily EMEA, but it obviously is starting to drift over a lot more into South America also. But I'm starting to come around to Bonnie. Maybe I'm starting to come around to Gray also. I mean, Exic is that kind of player which really gravitates towards this really aggressive brawlers, like that Buzz pick that we saw earlier on Safe Zone as well, and the Carl. He loves to get up close and personal. And if he chooses to lane with the Sprout, which is surely going to be his game plan here, then that could be a great thing to have. Either way, both the Bonnie and the Gray against that Sprout, that is giving a lot of power over to SK Kalalis if they start to play this one a bit slow and take their time with it. Make sure to really isolate Toxic at the right time towards the late stages of the game.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to get these supers for Alchi and Prosy, though, because, with Toxic just keeping them at range, it's going to be very, very difficult. If X can get a few of these walls broken up, it's definitely going to be quite useful. And I'd say it's going to be difficult for people to get supers, but Toxic's just gone and grabbed his straight away, which is going to be a huge, huge help. Throwing down over the right-hand side now and should be able to get some great pitches in with this position.
That's actually going to be on this Piper pick, which is interesting to see. Walking Kane there, will bring their JXCR into a perilous position and take down the Swift. But it's now 2 versus 2. Prosy on this right-hand side should go down as well, and he does. Toxic there did wonderful. And the super there, full better of it. I think wise to do so as well. Allow Christian to get a super. Fantastic. Juan Danilos there really just took their time with it and assessed the situation. It's far better to come in now with 3 players having super than it was to just try to secure the kill for the sake of it.
Yeah, well, those walls broken up now. Alchi manages to pull through those and get it done, but JXCR rotates to this mid as Toxic throws down a wall on the right-hand side. Still Gene pull in hand. We've got that B slow as well, and the rotation of these sprout walls over the right-hand side are always going to be quite useful as well. Alchi's going to need this teleport at some point and need to go towards Toxic because Prozy's having a terrible time.
Yeah, he's pushed far back, but healing up now. Meanwhile, Exec on the left is quite low himself, and the magic hand is available there for JXCR on the top left, and Walking Kane again to bring Christian and opening up that little side of fencing there, but Exec's in a perilous spot. He needs to jump his pull before he even can. Great connection from JXCR there. It does mean it's a 2 versus 2 yet again, but look at the positioning here. Alchi on the top right and Prozy down the bottom. They're going to try to make things work. A nice teleport away, but it is going to leave Alchi alone on his own, and there is the takedown.
To work. When we saw a body super, it started to work as well, but she did kind of get destroyed as soon as she landed. Not timed the best with Alchi's super to be able to get that double impact coming in, but some great connections early on from Toxic again, finding one very, very early, and Christian looking like he wants to try and pinch this one in to allow him to get even more.
Alchi there's going to be a little bit careful. The shots were getting a little bit too close to home. Ezek on the left is making some connections as well onto JXCR, and now he'll give away some of that utility. Over, probably not too far away from the magic hand now, but he wants to try to secure it early. Meanwhile, Prozy is pretty low on this right-hand side as well, and a Walking Kane yet again, but that indestructible wall is not really going to provide the value that he was looking for. Ah, what a wall! Toxic now can just go hammering here into Alchi. Walking Kane will secure it, but it's too late. Why did he wait so long?
I'm not sure it was on reset or something like that, but that's a difficult situation for them to be in. Prozy has just picked up his jump though. That's something at least, and we shouldn't be too far away from a TP from Gray, which definitely gives them a bit of a lifeline in this one. As far down as they are, they're a game down, a round down, and this round will secure set number 5 for Juan Danilos if they manage to bring it back, but gotta be a little bit scared of this Prozy jump.
Yeah, he hasn't really been able to get too much from it so far, but a better time like the present than ever pull, but next, whoa, what a range on that! Wall is replaced, and that might be the very thing that they need to be able to short take on Prozy, but Prozy is able to strike first! It's now a 1v1, a showdown! It's Christian up against Alchi.
Yeah, Alchi needs to bait out this honeycomb, or that could be a devastating hit. He gets his super, that's got to be huge. He gets the heals off the back of it as well. He can find a couple of connecting shots and finish it off. He actually goes through the TP, instantly activates, and he goes through it again. 1000 HP either way, but definitely seemed like a little bit of a waste there. Tries to go for the Walking Cane, get a bit of damage, but can't find it. No honey molasses for Christian either, which is going to be huge for Alchi.
Yeah, it really is. Let's see what can happen. He's trying to utilize the wall at the moment and just buy his time out for the gas and just not feed into these amplified shots. And I do feel like Christian should win this match, but he has got the shield gear as well as Alchi, so there is that. And taps, big taps, the honeycomb, 25 HP. Oh, Alchi comes out on top for SKC in the final hour.
And that's another super in hand as well. Dangerous stuff for Juan Danilos now. Then this could be a match point if they win this round, or they go into set number 5 if Juan Danilos managed to win it. Bounces coming out of Toxic now. Great connections. Needs to try and find a wall, but JXCR, we know how dangerous he's been with these pulls, and it's usually Exec who's getting pulled, so he needs to be cautious.
Well, there's a couple of gadgets on the side there of SK Kalelis for both the Piper and the body. JXCR, though, finds nothing off the back of the magic hand, and that is a waste of a super. At just the wrong time here. I think Juan Danilos have got to be a bit cautious here, going into overtime with Sprout. They need to make it a 3 versus 2 ideally. Prozy will be looking to get his jump as quickly as he can. And Exec would like to land Christian out of the mix here. Gas soon to be coming in as well, and that's going to be a primary concern. More so, I would say, on the hands of Juan Danilos, who needs to get another Gene super thick and fast.
There's the TP. It comes in. Alchi's going to get a few connections, but he's actually going to go down. Exec needs to make some useful plays. Jump away. Prozy's going to go for the TP, and he finds it as well. He can pull back in, though. He can't really help out because this unbreakable wall's not going to go down. It hits them both, and resets him, and he's just trapped him out. Tries to go through the TP to get the heals, but can't.
All the way through to the grand final. Did take a loss there to Wakos, but nonetheless, they would like to be making it twice consecutively, going into Crystal Arcade then for Gem Grab, our final set of this series, and such an important draft for both of these teams.
Yeah, Crystal Arcade, it's always a tricky draft as well. You got to get these lanes right overall. The mid, you can have quite a few different things and it can work, but these lanes it's very peaky. It's very, like, if you have control, it's very hard to lose it, and if you lose it, then you're pretty much costing your team. So definitely some really, really difficult stuff. Difficult draft to be able to go for as well. We've seen some semblance of Nita. We've seen a lot of Surge, a lot of Carl. Gonna see that Carl banned out though, as I did see there, but Ruffs is gonna be the first pick. Sandbag's gonna be quite a good use, but I mean, you gotta be searching for towards a penny or something like that, right? Not allow him to take those sandbags, or if he does, punish him for it.
Seeing that same ban as well, the Spike and the Ash, and that was, I believe, what they had in Brawl, which gave the momentum shift for Juan Danilos. Penny coming in exactly as you called it, Trav, for SKC, and the Otis as well to follow up. Quite like that. It's quite a versatile brawler, has, again, great ability to really shred through tanks, so I think at that stage of the draft, it's the perfect time to bring out Otis for sure. Definitely though, a mid is missing for Juan Danilos, and I'd imagine the Gene wouldn't be a bad shout. We already served them pretty well earlier today, but there are still some options for that mid approach. But you're gonna have the support there for your team to be able to ensure the takedown's still gonna come in, which could be their mid. Normally it's a lane, but nonetheless it's a bit of a versatile one in that respect. Can be used in Crystal Arcade, but can also have a few problems. But the indestructible walls now coming in make it a bit more of a viable option. Definitely though, range is always a good thing to have, and the Ruffs will be able to provide that, but I imagine primarily going to be keeping that on the lane side. See what their third and final is coming in. Surely you're going to be seeing what it is. Max ban, Penny, and sorry, the Janet and the Carl bans on the side of SKC do whittle it down somewhat. Could be potentially keep bringing RT. I don't necessarily mind it, but again, I'm still yet to see many teams that do select RT in pretty much every instance we've seen this weekend get much value from their super, which is a bit of a concern for me. Nonetheless, having those amplified marks onto your opposition does go a long, long way into assuring swift takedowns.
It really does, and you know, I'm sure it's probably going to be mid here. It's got a decent HP pool. Obviously, you can do a decent job of tanking some stuff as well, but you got to be kind of searching for a mid here, right, SKC? Going with the Poco. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen a Poco. Quite often banned out, and a lot of the other time it's not played. I'm not really sure what it kind of goes with here. Yeah,
synergy's not really there, is it? I mean, they had a great opportunity to go with a big tank as well. You got to remember, like, they had the third and final pick. The Stu is going to have a bit of a, not a bad matchup. It's going to be able to evade a lot of the shots, but you're going to be able to push back and regain control off the back of that idea. And the Ruffs as well was struggled primarily against them to be able to push forwards. So I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't consider a Sam, as it is one that, you know, a lot of other regions do. Despite it being nerfed recently, it's still definitely one that can cause big problems on this map. I don't know why they didn't really go for it. They had to obviously have, you know, something of a mid, but they already had the Penny anyway. So I don't really know why they've gone with that, but they seem to feel like it's going to be enough to be able to make the grand finals. Personally, I really am siding with Juan Danilos' his draft in that side of the respect, and for that reason, I feel like they're going to keep our prediction alive, because until, you know, the third set, it was looking like SKC were going to be taking it all the way and just securing it in a sweep. The reverse sweep is now happening.
Yeah, and you know, you questioned when it was 2-0 whether I was questioning my prediction, and honestly, I kind of was. But now I'm feeling kind of good about it after seeing these comps and how Juan Danilos have been playing over the past two sets. Definitely think it's a little bit of a Juan Danilos sided comp here, to be honest with you. That RT, I'm still questioning it a little bit. And you know, at the start we said, do you expect to see more RT, less RT? And I do see Penny as definitely a bit more of a lane, especially against the Ruffs, I will say, rather than kind of having in the mid in this circumstance, even if they didn't take it with Poco. You're not going to see those sandbags being played, and it doesn't surprise me considering, as I said, that lane is quite heavily sided towards it. But we got a nice little break there from Christian and follow-ups as well. X is going to get one, and he's going to get the Screeching Soul onto JXCR as well. Surprised Prosy didn't come across and tank, and there you go. There's a little bit of a look at how useful the super can be, but it's probably the first thing we've seen in a few regions of actually getting used to it.
Yeah, exactly that. Like, two things that we were just talking about not really seeing much of just happened there. We've got the RT super, we've got Exit just going on a really aggro Poco lane, which is bizarre, but it is kind of working, so we've got to give the man some credit. 3 gems in the pocket. I don't know where he managed to pick them up from. Now he's getting a fourth and the potential fifth here. He wants to go for it. JXCR coming back now to try to assert some order into the situation. Now she's in a rock and a hard place between himself and Christian. 2 gems dropped. Bit chaotic, Trav, but I kind of like it.
Yeah, as do I. A lot of these walls going down as well, so not really seeing too much happen. Just some dashes coming through. Alchi going to try and get this mute onto him, but also gets the heal onto him. Really nice stuff. Still got his super in hand as well. Exit just keeping him alive. Fat Splat's going to be placed down onto JXCR, and a mute onto Christian. Whoa, wonderful from Alchi there. Getting pretty much all of the work done for his team. 10th gem should be spawning shortly. Spawns on Juan Danilos' side, but SKC get it anyway.
This is looking so convincing, far from what we were expecting, to be completely honest, but Nonetheless, SK Danilos are walking away with it, and surely about to move on to match point. Big mark there from Alchi. Christian, what can he do? Exik is the man that he needs to beat, and those shots are not landing on the side of JXCR. It is going to...
This one's swinging. The Poker went aggressive, they got a kill, and really just claimed control, even with the walls broken up. Poker was still doing its work, and it shouldn't really be against RT with the walls broken. Christian's going to dash straight through their little heal provided from the gadget of Exik, so great from him. And Christian actually ate that as well. He's been reset, but eventually we see Exik fall.
This is much better now. Juan Danilos cannot be allowing SK Danilos to be doing this to them. Don't feed into the Poker as much. And Exik was thriving off the back of those supers in the last game, and keep their distance a bit more and just try to assure the lane size before working themselves into the mid. Christian's in a bit of a tough spot here. 2 gems going to land. Perfect for the pickup as JXCR can now pressurize Prosy, push him back, and then leave those gems for later. I mean, this is what they need to be doing and should have been doing, really, in the last game.
Yeah, Toxic going to break up that side. I'm not sure how I feel about it, considering he doesn't have that range advantage over Alchi. Nice bit of aggression from Christian, though, even with these heals here. They're still getting some shots in. Little dashes through, Meteor's raining down as well. Great little pinch from them, but just JXCR picking up some gems. Did pick up those 2 from Spawn, I believe, as well, or maybe they're a little bit further back in there. 6 in hand now. They are still there, so that means they've got 8 over their side and only need to get a couple more from mid to start this countdown.
Christian playing out of his mind. JXCR as well is really ensuring to not feed into Exik, but now that Screeching Shadow might be costly. Not the gassy hill could be enough to save him in that instance, but it is 6 gems to 3, and now that penny turret is going to be starting to lock onto JXCR. 2 gems in the back pocket, remember, here for Juan Danilos. So they can just get a couple more. They can retreat. JXCR just considering to go for them there, choosing better of it. That's going to be potentially 9 if they pick that one up and want to come back for a retreat. So this is a fantastic position, but Juan Danilos have got to hold on to it and not lose control.
Yeah, penny turret's hitting as well. Alchi just trying to find it, gets the shot through, and the burn down's going to be there. The mute takes him down as well, and the 1 gem I think JXC, his teammate had, was laying on the floor there. Prosy's 1 shot now as well. We might be seeing a double match point.
Wow!
Down he goes, and they're going to start the countdown. Juan Danilos with 13 in hand, 12 now. Christian doing a great job of deflating the pressure here, and JXCR hitting some shots as well. 9 seconds, I don't see a comeback, and this is going to be double match point.
JXCR with the taps. My word, he hasn't been missing, and that was what we were missing. It was a night and day difference, and now this is where it's going to get really interesting, because we've seen the resolve of Juan Danilos starting to learn from their mistakes, but now will the aggressiveness of SK Danilos start to show its face again and cause some problems.
Yeah, a little dash through from Christian already, and Prosy's down to 92 HP off the start. Salty Barrel going to be taken down. Exik trying to find the aggressive shots once more, but brought incredibly low. Little lane swap already, and the wall breaks there. Exik's down, and SKC are not looking good.
Yeah, it's a terrible start. 5 gems already in the pocket, and we've barely got started. There's the air support coming down, and Prosy does take 1. Healing up a little bit now as Exik, but then does concede a few taps. Christian as well, just dancing on that right-hand side. It's lovely to see. There's no mark on the side of Alchi either. There's a double takedown. Both sides were traded out, but look how low Prosy and Exik are, and it's going to allow all the time in the world JXCR to be able to continue to just put the gems in the pocket.
Yeah, and Christian's already going to be back up and fighting this right-hand side. It's pretty much a trade in terms of the timings that they went down. He's already picked him up. Exik's low as well. He falls.
Beautiful.
There's 2 gems, 3. The countdown's there for Juan Danilos. They might even wait for 1 more. They've got all the time in the world. And this is match point 2.
Match point, this is dominant. Juan Danilos have walked away with this and stolen it out of the pocket of SK Danilos. This should have been SK Danilos in the grand final, but it won't be. Juan Danilos absolutely steal it, and they will